taunt minions when you've got Jade cards?
This will be good.
And I'm feeling pretty bad about this. I'm going up against a good friend of mine, Gerald, and I am bullying him here with these Jade cards. He's a Reno hunter, and unfortunately, as good as Ziliax is, it's not going to be able to save him here. The pressure that we are putting on from this board is just too much. Even the chicken isn't going to be enough. So Gerald, I'm really sorry for bullying you here. I do apologise. But on a positive note, he gets 80 gold out of it. Not too bad. So what am I playing today? I'm playing Cannon4Der's Jade Taunt Druid. Now recently you've seen me playing Taunt Druid, you've seen me play Taunt Druid with Reno. Now I'm playing Taunt Druid with Jade Idols. And how do you win with the deck? Well, you go for the long-term value game. Play your Taunt minions. Get them killed off. Play Hadronox. Kill off Hadronox with Naturalize, bring those Taunt minions back to life. Play N'Zoth the Corruptor. Hadronox comes back to life. Kill off Hadronox. Play Witching Hour. Play the cube on Hadronox. And you just keep on going. And if somehow your opponent manages to punch their way through the waves of minions that are resummoned, you have Jade Idol, and then you get that never-ending value. In fact, you will never go to fatigue with this deck because of Jade Idol. And in the long games against other control decks, that's actually a big deal. So the other interesting thing about this deck is it plays Prince Keleseth. I've not played that card for quite some time, but it can actually make a significant difference, even if you don't get to play Keleseth on turn 2. If you can play him before you run out of minions to draw into, just getting the extra stats on a Sludge Belcher, on a Ziliax, on a Kartuk Defender, that can be absolutely significant in helping you take control of the board. So yes, big fan of Keleseth in this deck. Let's have a look then at the deck in action on the Wild Mode ladder. We're going to look at a series of games. This is my first attempt playing the deck, so please do excuse any misplays. And we're going to be starting out first against a Shaman.
Fights back.
Okay, so, Ferocious Howl seems like a sensible keep.
We have turned our curse into
Okay,
our
it's an even
strength.
Shaman, that's absolutely fine, I guess. We just need to put some taunts in the way of the big threats that come down. So by playing Jade Idol here, I'm giving away the fact that I'm a Jade Druid. Of course, he now may be expecting a multitude of Jade cards, and he may not cotton on to the fact that I'm also a Taunt Druid.
Nature's blessings upon you.
Okay, it's turn 2. Do we need to think about this? Okay. Maybe he did have to think about it. Jade Claws or Totem Golem? Which one do we summon? Or which one do we play?
This will be good.
So a typical slow start from this deck, which is fine, I guess, because we've got recovery mechanics. We have Ferocious Howl for armor gain, Spellstone that gets buffed up. We have Naturalize to deal with the 4-mana 7/7, although really you want to use your Naturalize on your Hadronox. And we have Taunt minions in hand that can block the way, so yes, he can build up a wide board, he can be very aggressive, but we can make our comeback.
That was wild.
Not sure what he's thinking about here.
Free of that blasted tower!
Behold, this dude is playing Vargoth. Did I miss something? Is Vargoth now a thing in Even Shaman? Did I miss something here? I'm very confused. Interesting. Is he a spell heavy deck? Behold, there is nothing to behold. There were no spells played. What's going on? Well, we're gonna kill that.
This will be good.
And we get the Keleseth buff, which is pretty exciting. So, at this juncture, we're heading into his turn 6. I have essentially control of the board. I mean, I have minions that can attack. We're feeling pretty good about this.
Golems are a girl's best friend.
There's Aya. And that's absolutely fine because we've just drawn into a buffed up Ziliax. The question is, do we want to play the Belcher or the Ziliax? I think the Belcher is a fine play. The Belcher contests Aya, so he'll have to trade Aya into the Belcher. Aya will die. I think that's fine. Gets a 3-3. Sure. So now when you look at the deck, it looks like a traditional Even Shaman. I do not understand the inclusion of Vargoth. I just don't think there are enough spells to warrant it. I don't know.
Unity. Precision.
This will be good.
Alright. 4 attack Ziliax there. We don't get the healing value, but that's fine. Slowly but surely, we're drawing more cards that are of value. We have Hadronox in hand, ready to combo with the Naturalize. Oh wow, he plays the Emperor? Really? What do you need to discount? Interesting. The Drake doesn't kill the Emperor. So, sure, I'll just play the Lich King. I know it's gonna die. However, I value getting one of the Lich King cards to hand. Death Coil is really, really good. And actually, I'm fine with the Lich King dying here. Look, he's having to expend significant resources here to kill the Lich King. A Crackle, a Face Tank, and a Trade. That is big. Oh, he plays his own Lich King, sure. Yeah. I'm happy for my Lich King to die, because we've got Hadronox, so we know we can get it back to life.
Golems are a girl's best friend.
Okay, buffed up Aya. And our Jade Golems are growing. It's worth noting. Frostmourne to tank 6. How interesting. Wow, look at him go. Ancestral Spirit. This guy plays Ancestral Spirit. Unbelievable. So one naturalize has been used up.
This'll be good.
Not sure about that play. But I'm assuming he's going to trade in the thing from below. I want all my mana available to me next turn. So yeah, I think in the end, this kind of worked out. Yeah, we just draw a load of cards now. This has worked out really, really well for us. Anyway, going back to my original point, one naturalize was used up, so I'm going to play Hadronox. I want the other naturalize available to me. And that's my second Jade Idol. Instead of shuffling, I've summoned a golem. Because what I'm saying is, I need board presence, I need board pressure. And this game isn't going to go on for that much longer, so there is no point shuffling. In terms of board presence, value, I have Resolve, I've Hadronox. That'll give me everything I need, but look at this board. Double Sea Giant, 4-man, 7/7. It's pretty scary. So yeah, there comes a point in the game where even Shaman just goes absolutely crazy and puts highly statted minions on the board for a low cost. The question is, and it is taking me longer than it should to try and work this out, do I have lethal?
Now how about...
There are 2 taunt minions in the way. One small one, one big one. Branching Paths. Spellstone.
This'll be good.
Yeah, that's an easy lethal. Should not have taken me so long to spot it, I'm ashamed to admit.
Well played.
Alright, game number 1 with this deck. Be impressive.
Lunara versus Garrosh.
Okay.
Victory or death.
This is a warrior,
Fights back.
and immediately I think pirate warrior, right? Because I faced a couple of pirate warriors in the last day or so, so I'm thinking, okay, another pirate warrior.
That was wild.
And if it is a pirate warrior, we would run the risk of being steamrolled. If he has a hyper-aggressive start, there is a good chance we just cannot recover from it, and we just get steamrolled and absolutely destroyed. But this is not a pirate warrior. This is hero powered on turn 2,
This'll be good.
and didn't play anything on turn 1. Unless it's a pirate warrior with a terrible hand, or he's got ship's cannon and he's saving up lots of cheap pirates. That's a possibility. That happens from time to time.
Pain, speak to me.
Okay, definitely not a pirate warrior.
This'll be good.
So, it is some kind of control warrior. Now, as long as they don't play Skulking Geist, we're happy. But you see, even if they play Skulking Geist, we still have loads of taunts. We have N'Zoth, we've had Hadronox, we still have value in that regard. Whereas if we were a pure Jade Druid, Skulking Geist basically wrecks us completely. Whereas in this deck, we can fall back on the taunt value. It's not so much of a problem. So we still Cold Light Oracle. So I've got to assume that Dead Man's Hand is in his deck. Which means this could be quite a lengthy game. Because what he can keep doing is, if he runs, I think, 2 copies of Dead Man's Hand, he can keep shuffling. He can get multiple copies of Brawl, and that could be problematic.
My hand is full.
Yeah, fair enough.
Welcome to the Grand Tournament.
Oh wow, welcome to the Grand Tournament! That's actually one of my favourite cards, Justica Trueheart, from back in the day, with the Tank Up Hero Power. Of course, everyone just started playing Odd Warrior after that, and then Justica kind of disappeared. But back in the day, Justica Trueheart introducing the Tank Up Hero Power to the Hearthstone world. And this guy is playing Justica, so much respect to my opponent. Much respect to him. Ha! And there it is! There's Skulking Geist. And he's probably thinking to himself now, oh yeah, I've played Geist. The Jade Druid can't do the Jade things. Well, we still have our taunts.
That was wild.
So as far as I'm concerned now, we have all the value we need in our hand. Hadronox, N'Zoth. Bring It On has just discounted my hand, so I guess I should thank him.
Taunts are a girl's best friend. This will be good.
Okay, so there are going to be multiple board clears in his deck.
That was wild.
Warpath, Brawls, and then Dead Man's Hand will get him multiple copies of those cards.
You were no fun.
Okay, that's quite an investment there on that turn. I'll take that. Our inability to shuffle Jade Idols into our deck means that eventually fatigue is going to be a problem.
This will be good.
So, what does he have up his sleeve now?
I ain't talking.
Oh dear. Okay, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. I was afraid for a moment that N'Zoth would get hit with that dirty rat. That's fine. 4-8 on the board. That's good for me. So, I could develop another 4-8. I think that seems reasonable.
This will be good.
It puts a bit more pressure on the board. It may force him to use significant removal. And if he does, that starts to pave the way for Hadronox on a future turn. I have Ultimate Infestation in hand, but since we can't shuffle Jade Idols, I don't know if that is a good card for me at this point. I don't think it is. Because we need to be wary of fatigue. Meanwhile, he just wants to draw cards, because I suspect that he's going to Dead Man's Hand any moment now. Okay, not yet. Usually I'd only ever want to play Hadronox if I had the Naturalize available. But I'm just going to play her here. Obviously we fear a silence effect. That is the one big drawback of doing what I've done here.
Special armor. Strong and shiny.
Okay. So there's Hadronox. I guess we just go for it. Okay, that's a reasonable selection of minions, apart from the 1-2 statted minions. The rest are pretty good. And now Brawl becomes awkward, because if he brawls, the chances are the cube will die, we'll get Hadronoxes on the board.
Special armor. Strong and shiny.
Yeah, you can gain as much armor as you want. Oh dear, okay, there's Dead Man's Hand. And he plays Brawl, which means he has shuffled a copy of Brawl back into the deck. So the race is on now to keep the pressure up before he keeps drawing into his removal tools.
Truth is found in
And speaking of pressure, I would say this board does a superb job at generating pressure. 2 Hadronoxes and the Lich King. Pretty good.
Who knows what secrets will uncover?
Alright. He wants more cards. Wants to give me more cards. Double Witching Hour. Ha! Another discount. Sure, I'll take that. Honestly, this hand is insane. So, if you count up the damage, double Branching Paths, plus the hero power, I believe is 40 damage? And, including armor, he's got 40 health. So we have lethal. However, I'm going to prolong this game. I'm going to extend it. I want to see what he's got, and see how long we can last for. I'm going to go for Death Grip. So what do we get? Ah, Cola Oracle.
I choose death.
Feels good.
I shall bring victory.
The forest fights back.
Let's look at our final game with this deck. So far, so good. This deck has been successful. It's been fun to play. And as I play more games, I'm starting to become more confident with the deck. And I'm starting to observe some of the intricacies behind it. I always seem to get Jade Idol for turn 1. This is a common occurrence when playing this deck for me. Part of me would wish I didn't draw into it, because I think the Jade cards, or rather the Jade Idols themselves, should act as a bit more of a surprise in the mid to late game. Because your opponent thinks you're a Taunt Druid, you just play the Taunts, and then suddenly here come the Jade Idols and your opponent is like, what the hell is going on here?
Minions, take to the streets.
Speaking of, well, what the hell is going on here? This is not Big Priest. That makes me very happy. But what the hell is he playing?
This'll be good.
Alright, Shadow Visions. That is a card I recognise, certainly. Alright, so we play a woohoo. Get a little bit of pressure on the board. And we just wait for him to react.
Pain, speak to me.
Okay, card draw. Desperate for card draw. So we can mill him here. The question is, do we want to give him those cards? I think it's fine.
This'll be good.
Okay, regenerate, forbidden words. Those are not the best burns that we could have hoped for. Okay, with the way he's playing, I think it's pretty clear that this guy is Arena Priest. Arena Priest. What do we have to be afraid of? Kazakus potions are a problem with Reno opponents because they get the Mystic Wool potion and turns your board into sheep. The trouble is, those sheep are beasts. So if we play Witching Hour, we can get the sheep back. That is not a good thing.
Well played.
He's hoarding resources in his hand. I'm a little scared of sort of the burst damage, if he's Arena Priest, of the burst damage that he's going to be able to do to me.
This'll be good.
Okay, slow turn from me. But we're heading into turn 10 next. Would this be a good time for Ultimate Infestation? I don't think so.
I'll make you a real toy.
Oh boy.
Bubble, bubble.
Snuggles, back. Truth is found in death.
This'll be good.
Kill the 2/4, get the value trade. Slow turn from him, slow turn from me. Alright, there it is. Shadow Reaper Anduin. So now he'll try to burst me down with that hero power.
Golems are a girl's best friend.
But he hasn't got Raza yet. So that hero power is still very expensive. It costs 2. He's hoping it'll cost 1. So for the time being, I'm feeling relatively safe. We need to draw into branching paths. If we draw into branching paths, we can just keep armouring up and hopefully put ourselves out of range of his hero power. Now,
This'll be good.
using the light bomb there, that seemed, I'm not going to call it a wasteful play, but it's just he had to deal with the board. It's just that I'm going to be summoning whole waves of minions back, and I think the light bomb would be better served at that point. But he wants to draw more cards, sure. Give me my buffed up Ziliax.
Unity, precision, cruelty.
And at this point, we're not afraid
This'll be
of the
good.
Death Lord. Because the cards we really need, N'Zoth and Hadronox, are in our hand. Getting that 3/4 out of our deck without the battle cry to summon the Jade Golem, that's unfortunate, but it's still fine. Wow, using Mass Hysteria on these 3 sorry minions, and you don't even kill all 3. That's pretty nuts. And notice the benefit of having a buffed up Sludge Belcher at 4 attack. He can't Shadow Word Pain it, he can't Shadow Word Death it. This particular Belcher, or Belchers, they're overpowered against Priest. Pretty good. Second Mass Hysteria, sure. There's still 3 things left of my board. Right. In order to prevent shenanigans from occurring,
This'll be good.
where I die in an unexpected manner due to his hero power, I'm armoring up. 15 armor, work your way through that. If we can just get some stuff to stick to the board, we should be absolutely fine.
Darkness speaks to me.
Because he'll have to
Blessings
expend
upon
his
you.
hero power to deal with threats on the board rather than targeting my face with it. Wow, Eater's Secrets. Must have run into a lot of mages.
Excuse me. Excuse
This'll be good.
I'm happy to wait. There's no pressure for us to rush too much with all this armor. He's having to focus that hero power on the board.
We're gonna be rich.
Okay, you're gonna be rich, sure. Don't particularly care about that. Alright, here we go.
Job's done. Almost out of cards.
Alright, Seance has been burned. That's a pretty big deal.
I'm out of cards.
And Shadow Word Death is meh. But, hey, big board. How do you deal with it? You probably needed that card a long time ago. Raza is too little, too late. So, what does he want to do? Is he about to rage quit on me? No, he's still moving.
At last, a worthy disciple.
Alright, Kazaka's Potion. Do your worst.
Away, intruder!
I just need to try and count the damage here. I give up counting. Just go face. Seems sensible.
This'll be good.
Fatigue damage is now a thing. One of the things that scared me about a deck like his is Archbishop Benedictus. I mean, obviously Benedictus is counterproductive. If you're playing Reno, that can really screw you up. But as a last minute sort of value addition, maybe it can work. Particularly if Benedictus can steal a second copy of Jade Idol. But thankfully for me, Jade Idol is in hand, so we don't have to really worry. And whilst I was yammering away there, wave of Taunt minions did the job. Okay, so Cannon4Der's Jade Taunt Druid. Tremendously fun deck to play. You see a selection of games in this video, actually 4 games, reference to 4 games in total. And fun deck, effective deck, can work in multiple ways in that you can be a Jade deck initially, in terms of playing your first copy of Jade Idol, Jade Blossom for ramp, Jade Spirit to get the Jade Golems going, Aya to continue the pressure. And at that point they think, you're a Jade Druid. And then they get rid of the Jade cards, or the Jade minions rather, and then you start playing taunts, and they're like, what the hell? They deal with the waves of taunts, and then you start shuffling that second copy of Jade Idol into your deck, and then playing more big Jade Golems. Alternatively, you can do it the other way around. You can play your taunt minions first, if that's how you draw into them, and then later you start playing Aya, Jade Spirit, Jade Idol, and they're like, what the hell? I thought he was a taunt druid. So yes, there's different approaches to the deck in terms of how you could psychologically mess with your opponent. I love the inclusion of Keleseth in this deck. I think it's just tremendous. The value is worth it. The only issue that I've got potentially with the deck is that you can suffer against hyper-aggressive decks. The deck lacks swipe, it lacks wrath, so you can just get mowed down. I mean, if you draw well against hyper-aggressive decks, ideally, I guess, you would want cards like Branching Paths available to you when you needed them, Ferocious Howl available when you needed it, and then you need to get taunts down super quickly, so Sludge Belcher, double layered taunt. In my previous videos I've talked about how Belcher is, in my opinion, still one of the best taunts in the game because of the 2 layers. Obviously Kartut Defender has 2 layers as well. Again, that makes it exceptionally good, although you do get the healing from Kartut Defender. Belcher gives you no healing. But yeah, you need Belcher, Ziliax, Kartut Defender, get those taunts down super early against aggro, and hope that that's enough to slow them down, whilst you draw into cards like Primordial Drake with the AoE, which may be able to remove a board. But yeah, against hyper-aggressive decks, if you draw badly, you may not be able to recover. Against slow control decks, you can draw badly, it doesn't matter. In the end, you will outvalue them. So, thank you very much for joining me, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I think my plays in this video were somewhat better than the mishaps that occurred in my last 2 videos, and a lot of you called me out on my bad plays. I do apologise for that. Hopefully my plays were better this time round, but that's what happens when you play a deck for the first time and decide to publish, your first few games without having had any practice with the deck. So yeah, thanks for joining me, everyone, and I'll see you all again very soon for more Wild Mode fun.